Hannah Oli, Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och vi lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the show. You found it. I sure am glad you did. Hey, this is our September Jamie only show. And I try to do once a quarter an update, what's going on, what's happening. Mainly post ones over on Patreon mainly, but we're going to do it everywhere. This one, because we're going to be unveiling this year's holiday paintings. Every year, come holiday time, I paint a couple paintings and those paintings, yes, we do sell them and whatnot, but really those paintings are for the merch store. We put these images, once we get all the paperwork and whatnot handled for them, they go out on various holiday merch. Christmas cards are very popular, the regular size Christmas cards. And we sell a lot of these postcards of these. It's a Christmas postcard. And I think, it's cheaper to mail though. So if somebody, has needs to send out a whole bunch of holiday cards or whatnot, that is the way to go. That is the way to go. And of course, it's all, there's discounts. The more you buy, the more you save, that type of deal and whatnot. But that's all over at our merch store, which of course, I'll have a link down below here and right there. And you can get to roxgear.us, www.roxgear.us, United States. And yeah, roxgear.us is our merch store. And these paintings, we're unveiling them today, but the merch will be available along with all the previous. I think I've been doing this since 2014, 2015, something like that. I think it was 2015 when I had the idea. All of the previous years are available also, and they don't say 2015 or 2019 or whatever on the image that's on the merch. So it still looks cool and it doesn't look dated. So I thought that was important. We have all kinds of stuff over there. We have, like I said, cards and holiday postcards. We also do tree skirts, wrapping paper, you name it. We got it over there. Posters, just all kinds of stuff. And the people and I think the reason it's been popular and successful and whatnot is it's not the same old. I try to put my little Jamie Roxx spin on things, and it's a different market. That's all I'm saying. Bit holiday themed anyhow. Yeah. So every year I do that. And I normally do 2 paintings, but this year something interesting happened. We're doing 3. You might recognize the painting behind me here on the easel. I painted this painting. Well, not this one. I painted one exactly like it last year. And what happened is my life's busy and zany and all kinds of stuff. Last year was even on top of my wife, Danny, got sick. And she had to have IV antibiotics daily, nightly. And Nurse Jamie here was the one having to do them. But we got through that and everything. She's fine today. For those who don't know, she had I can never say this, diverticulitis or something like that. Anyway, she had to have a big 24-inch chunk of her intestine removed. She had surgery and stuff. I was real concerned, but we got through that. That when you stand before your officiant, that full for better or worse sickness and health thing comes up and they're serious. I'm joking around, but of course we were too. And yeah, I'm glad she's okay. Yeah. So this painting. So last year I had the idea to do some boots and a riding crop. I thought, that's that'll look cool in somebody's house. They'll dig that. And somebody from that particular side of the street, shall we say, across the tracks maybe. And so I drew it out and whatnot. And I got turned around in the hoopla and whatnot, and I forgot all about it. I forgot that I had drawn it out. And then I was sitting around here one day and I'm like, whatever happened? I need to do that painting, man. I need to do that painting. Couldn't find it. Couldn't find it. I'm like, I know I drew the thing out, and I like to keep my studio pretty organized. I know it may not look it, but it really is. It really is. I hate that stereotype about painters having a terrible, messy studio. I can't work like that. Number one, mentally, it just drives me crazy. And number two, I can't find anything. And this is one of those times, even with my studio as organized as it is, couldn't find this canvas that I had drawn out the image on. So I'm like, okay. So I drew it out again. And best I could remember, probably there's a few subtle differences if I were to hold these next to each other. But I drew it out again and painted that one. And it sold. And I'm trying to remember. It's hard to keep track of all this stuff unless I look it up. But it sold. And I think I'm going to California, San Francisco. I think it might be out there somewhere, if memory serves. I could be wrong on that. But I think if Northern California is where its home is. So anyway, so then we had our this year rolled around. That's good coffee. And I was, what was I doing? I was looking for something. Oh, we were having router issues and stuff. And so I was like, well, since I can't get on the internet, this is a couple weeks ago, I said, I'm going to organize the studio more or whatever. So behind the shelf, where we keep all this stuff, we have a lot of, I tell you, here's an interesting fact. I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but sometimes I'll get commissions in like July or something, which is great. The earlier the Christmas commissions come in, the better, because it's just, I can get them out of the way and then focus on all the Johnny come latelys. And there's always those. But anyway, I have a big shelf and we keep paintings. We give people the option. We're like, you want us to send it out now? Or do you want us to hold on to it until closer to the holidays? And that way they don't have to hide it or it isn't discovered early or something like that. And so, yes, we have a whole shelf of that. Anyway, behind me, as part of that shelving unit, it's over here. Yes, we have the early commission works on it and whatnot. There's also blank canvases on that thing and finished paintings and whatnot. It's a shelf thing. And so, but it's kind of, it's weird. It's hard to explain. I don't want to move the camera, but anyway, behind it was the original canvas that I had drawn out. Hadn't painted it yet, just drew it out on the canvas. And the missing one. And so I'm like, well, we got another one of these. And I don't like to put out, and people ask me sometimes too, they're like, why don't you just paint the same painting over it? Well, I'm not a screen print or a screen printing machine. I know that sometimes the paintings look like that, but it's not the case. I hand paint all this stuff. But anyway, I'm like, what am I going to do with this? I guess I can, because you really can't, once you draw on these canvases, you can't erase, it's hard to erase stuff. So you better know what you're kind of doing before you do it. So I was like, well, it's a canvas. We drew it out or whatever, I guess. And then again, he's like, you should do something with it. Change it. Change the color of the background at the very least, which from the other one. And I'm like, that's a good idea, but I like the color of that. So anyway, I decided to do a funny story about this. Many years ago, you may or may not know this, I lived in Southern California, moved out there and made all kinds of friends and stuff. And I wound up being friends with a whole gang of people that are SWs. I guess they're considered that. They work in the adult entertainment business. Hopefully I can say that on YouTube. I don't know who else is. But yeah, they're in that business and whatnot. And I knew them. These were friends of mine. I don't care what they do for a living. They didn't judge me for what I'm doing for a living. What do I care? But anyway, yeah, I made friends with all these people. And it's interesting because a lot of folks in that business, they're always shooting films and stuff. And I don't know if they're called reels now, short form videos or whatever, but they're filming stuff. And they always have like a base apartment. They always have a basic apartment and they want to jazz it up, make it look modern, make it look more a little high end. And I'm the painter they know. So a lot of my painting wound up in these movies on the walls and stuff because they were trying to make it look cool. And first off, I'm very flattered. And this is amazing to me because even to this day, this is like 15 years ago, maybe even a little longer. Yeah, this is back in the day. Then I still get emails. I still get emails from people and they're like, hey, nudge, nudge, kind of wanted to let you know, I saw this film and it's of adult nature and could swear there was some of your paintings on the wall in that thing. I don't know if you need to tell them to cease and desist or something. Like, no, man, those people were friends of mine. And yeah, I remember that. They asked for some paintings and came over and picked out a dozen or whatever and used them as set design in their set design, I should say, for a couple of weeks or whatnot, returned the paintings and I sold them. I don't care. Why with me? It doesn't bother me any. I still get these. So it just goes to show that some of those films that were filmed, and frankly, if you're watching an adult film and you're noticing my art on the wall over what I'm assuming is going on, the action happening in the shot. Well, number one, I don't know if you paid for that or what, but you're not getting your money's worth watching my art. But I appreciate it. I'm very flattered, very honored. But yeah, anyway, how can I not be? But yeah, so I know all these people and whatnot, and they're all cool, interesting people. People do their own thing and do. But yeah, so in that part of my life, I went to quite a few interesting parties thrown by interesting people, attended to by a wide, diverse set of folks. I mean, pretty cool. And at one of these parties was a dominatrix. She was a whips and chains gal, did that for a living. People paid her a lot of money to help them relieve their stress. And that's what she did. And good for her. She didn't do anything. The interesting thing about that life and that world is that particular subdivision of it is that, what is this? Ping. Anyhow, yeah, that particular subdivision of that particular world is there's usually not a lot of type stuff happening. It's all mental role playing and that kind of stuff. That's where that kick usually falls. And hey, that's cool. Whatever gets you through the night, man. Anyhow, I was at this party and there was this dominatrix there, and she was cool. I can't remember her name. I think her name was Kelly or something. I don't know, whatever, mistress, whatever. But she was cool, and it was a Christmas themed party, it was a holiday party, and she had a crop, like a riding crop, with a mistletoe on the end of it, and she would go around and put it over her boots to her people and whatnot. And it was I hadn't thought about that in years, 15 years at least. I hadn't thought about it. But when I saw the painting, the sketch of it out on the canvas, I was like, oh, I could do something with it. And so that is not my original idea. Well, I mean, other than painted this and threw it out. But I got the idea for the mistletoe over the boot from some dominatrix 15 years ago at a party I was at where the hell was that? Silver Lake, suburb of LA, for those who don't know. And yeah, that's where I got that idea. And I haven't seen it done since. So kudos to her. And there's all of these from the world, holiday tropes. Oh yeah, let's paint a gal tied up with Christmas lights or whatever. It's just stuff you see a lot. You've seen it. It's not different. And if there's anything we like around here, it's difference. So there you go. That's the first painting. And that's working this morning. And I buy these, folks. This is a good little thing, a tip for painters or whatnot, or anybody, especially when you get to be my age. I get these they come in a bunch of different colors, a little pack of them. And I always have these. If you ever see me at a party or an event or something, 99% of the time, there's one of these in my pocket and a pen so I can write down ideas. And so I'm listening, I'm working this morning and whatnot. Now it's just some song, and the line in it struck me And I'm like, oh, that's a good title. And that's where a lot of my titles come from. The aftertaste was sour. So I'll have to throw some holiday twist on that or whatever, but I like that line. The aftertaste was sour. Yeah. I thought that fit pretty good with the old boots and mistletoe painting here behind me. So yeah, this painting, like I said, will be available on merch. We will, I'm sure, be having this on eBay or something for the original. And we keep the prices low on the eBay paintings and whatnot. We don't go crazy on that because really the whole reason we do eBay is to draw in, we get to have some fun, paint some cool stuff. But the idea is usually those paintings will go on merch, which is fantastic because that painting is now generating an income stream for however long we keep the merch thing going. I work with Zazzle. I've found that they are usually the best on quality of merch that I've come across. And yeah, I know everybody's like, well, what about Cafe Press, Redbubble? Yeah, they're not. They just, in my opinion, don't deliver the quality that I like. If I'm buying a shirt or something or whatever, I want that. If I'm paying my money, I work hard for my money. So I want the best quality of whatever. And I know the margins are different with these and whatnot, but yeah, that's the cool thing I like about Zazzle. Honestly, if somebody in Germany wants this as a Christmas card or something, Zazzle is a drop ship business. They have all this on file, on computer file. When somebody orders it in our merch store, it goes to, it's printed then, quality controlled, boxed up, plated up, and shipped out. But what I'm saying is somebody orders this in the UK or Germany or France or Australia or someplace, China, they have satellite shops all over the place. So 9 times, not always, but 9 times out of 10, you avoid a lot of nonsense with shipping costs and whatnot. And also customs in Taiwan. Oh my God. You guys don't even know what a nightmare that is. And when you've been doing this business as long as I have, this Hong Kong customs nightmare as well. But most of them, they're not. There's a little bit of a delay, but it's not bad. But there's no delay. There's no delay if it's printed. And what I mean is, person sitting in wherever, France or something, they order Gnipnop or whatever, and it's printed in France and then shipped within country. So that's one of the things I look at this kind of stuff, keeps costs down and whatnot. So that's why we use them. I got the idea to use them from my band friends. Every person I knew in a band, including some pretty big names, all have merch stores. They all have merch. Merch is a very important part of their business model with their band or their group or what have you. And you go to these shows and you're like, man, people are paying that for a t-shirt and they're selling out of them. Paintings look cool on a t-shirt. I need to set up a merch booth, man. And so we did. I'm like, so I talked to these folks. I'm like, who are you guys using? Oh, we're using the, and I heard a lot of good things about that. Checked all this stuff out and bought merch from different companies to see the quality and whatnot. You know, when your name's on the door, it's got to be right. Got to be right. At least around here in our businesses and whatnot. So yeah, so this will be available next week. All these will be going. The merch will be dropping next week. I don't know the time or date, but it will be done by, at the very latest, Friday next week. It'll probably be a lot early. Probably be Monday or something. Who knows? Who knows, man? I say stuff like that, and then I'm like, teen orders roll in or something. I get behind. It's just, but it will be next week. So these will be available. And the reason I like to do it in September, and I can already hear people grousing a little bit. They're like, these people, these retail people starting this Christmas earlier and earlier every year. And just you hear that old trope. And folks, one of the first things, you might need to know this if you ever on a quiz game show or something, that kicked off all of this early holiday merch and whatnot was article that appeared. I don't know what it was in that. I don't know, Saturday Evening Post or something like that. It's not one of those old timey. Anyway, it was in 1897, September the 21st, and it was called Yes, Virginia, There is a Santa Claus. But yeah, back in 1897, the point of what I'm saying here is they started the Christmas retail season off then, September 21st. So everybody just chill your thumbs before, what do they say? Sliding into my DMs, giving me a ration for started up. No, I like to get these done because people like to get this stuff done early as they want to get this out of the way. They buy Christmas cards early and all, they want to have plenty of time. So that's why we do it. Frankly, honestly, in July and August are my two slowest months. So you might see during any given year, if the trend continues, and so far from the past 20 years, that's been the trend, is those are the slowdown months. And so I like to get ahead before things get real busy around here during the holiday season. So in that slowdowns when we get these holiday paintings knocked out. So we can drop those in September and people can get the Christmas cards, wrapping papers, tree skirts, Christmas bauble, or what do you call ornaments? Yeah, we have all that kind of stuff. Okay, so that's the first painting. Holiday something, the aftertaste was sour will be the title of that. I haven't figured out the holiday part, but I will. It'll happen. It's a standard day for me. So we're going to pause there. Well, actually, the cool thing is I can do this. Watch this. Here we go. Yes. Check that out. It's just like magic. We're back. And here's the next holiday painting. I wanted to do something different. And so I did. I don't know what the title of this is going to be. I can point out a few things. Yes, there's Santa's sleigh and his reindeer going across the moon there. We also have a zany UFO there and a World War II fighter airplane, prop plane. And yeah, and then you see a bunch of printed little things. These are kind of a pain. I had not done these. These are decoupaged into the painting, and what they all are, each one of these are, and there's hundreds of these. There's hundreds of them, not in the painting, but I looked up UFO encounters that happen on December 25th. And like I said, there's a lot. So I just kind of scrolled through at random and whatnot and picked some of the accounts. And we printed those and whatnot, and then we put them in the painting. And I just thought it's a weird Christmas painting. And it was meant to be. And I think it came out pretty good. I like that. I really dug painting that World War II plane because, man, I haven't really done a lot of those types of paintings and whatnot. Paint cars all the time. These high-end, my race car patron collector has me painting fancy race cars all the time. But I haven't done a lot of war paintings and whatnot. And it was tickling my fancy a little bit. I was kind of digging that. I was like, you could do all kinds of cool stuff with this. And different theaters, different grounds, and landscapes and whatnot. And yeah, so I was into it. We shall see over the next year. Yeah, there's going to be more of that stuff. I dig it. And when I was a kid, I was really into World War II. A lot of people I don't know if people know this or not, but I read a lot about it. And I love drawing planes and whatnot. And one of my passions were model airplanes. Believe that or not. Yeah. It was a game. Oh boy, I found nothing more fun to do than to build model airplanes. Yeah, loved it. I also did rocketry and all that kind of stuff. Back in the day, I was a kid. Had to do. I don't know. I discovered Dungeons and Dragons, and then after that, I discovered girls. And the model airplanes kind of went the way of Dungeons and Dragons. I found girls to be much more interesting for me than either of those two things. Anyhow, but I got to tell you guys, I still get a real jolt. I mentioned this on the show when we had Dr. Aaron on, the science advisor for Star Trek, for the whole Star Trek everything. She's the science advisor. Yes. That's a good guess. Pretty cool, I thought. But I told her, so we were talking about cosplay, cons and whatnot, which my wife, she does that. Her and her girlfriends and whatnot, they're into all that. And they'll, before a con, our place is usually the meeting place. They're on here fixing each other's outfits and this and that and walking around in tights and dressed up like superheroes. And my inner 12-year-old is like, dude, you won the lottery. Are you kidding me? Because way back when I was 12, no girls were into that stuff. None. Go to a comic book store, you would never see a girl in there, ever, of any type. Just wasn't happening. They didn't care about the new Dungeons and Dragons book way back when. I'm glad that's all. My wife has a whole group she plays Dungeons and Dragons with. Hilarious. They always ask me if I want to play, but it's a different game. And no, man, I'm over it. I did that. Been there, done that a million years ago. So long ago that knights were still a thing. No, not that old, but you'll like sometimes. Anyhow, next painting. Here we go. Boom. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the third holiday painting for the 2024 season. I don't know the name of this one either. Haven't gotten there yet. I will figure this out. And it's probably as dramatic as you're thinking. I'll wake up in the middle of the night or I get up super early anyway. And there it'll be. Don't have a clue right now. No clue. I liked the image. Woke up one morning with this image in my head and drew it out. And there you go. A lot of people are like, oh man, you're really into them fishnets, aren't you? I've always been into that scene and whatnot. I've always been a late guy, but yeah, fishnets are great. But one of the things I like to do sometimes is challenge myself a little bit. And one of the things about fishnets in particular, I would just like to point out, is it's not a bunch of X's drawn on a set of gams. They move. There's movement to them and they stretch in all the different directions and whatnot. And you got to figure that stuff out when you're drawing it out, when you're figuring everything out. And it's a little bit of a challenge. That's why everybody doesn't do them, frankly. And I get it. Women's hosiery is kind of fallen out of fashion for the most part. A lot of the gals I hang out with still are into that, but I get that's not for everybody and whatnot. Totally understand it, completely respect it, whatever. You wrap your Christmas presents how you want to wrap them. Maybe you want to wrap them in wrapping paper featuring this painting. They're fun to paint. Because it's challenging as hell. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. And the cool thing, you can kind of notice, I guess I'm pointing to the screen. You can't see that. But if you look where the fishnets kind of come together and whatnot over here, you'll see that. And if you look at a pair of, next time you see somebody wearing a pair of fishnets, kind of take a gander at that and whatnot. They don't just come together. There's usually space there, a little diamond shape kind of type deal. And yeah, that's how the mechanics of those work, I guess, because you always see it. But yeah, so this painting, like I said, I don't know the name of it. It'll be something, a Christmas kiss. Ooh, there you go. We'll see. And yeah, that's pretty good, actually. Let's see, pen and paper. And this pisses people off too. If you don't write Christmas and you do the Xmas, yeah, there's people, man. I've had people like yell at me. Like, geez, you need a hobby. If that's bothering you that much. Jeez Louise. Anyhow, I like that though, because the kiss on the Christmas ornament there and whatnot. But we will see. Ultimately, I got to run it by the boss. That would be my wife, Danny. She approves every painting and every painting title before they go out. Usually, I'll send her. And this is so I have books. It ain't just this one, folks. I have shoeboxes upon shoeboxes filled with these, with just titles that I'll paint a painting and start going through the books and find a cool title for it. Everybody's like, why do you come up with these weird titles? That's how we do it. And then before we post it or put it up on eBay or whatever, I send them to Danny, a list of about 10 or so. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't like that. Yeah, no, that one's great. That one's great. So that's it. Chicken dinner. That's the winner. Yeah, and that's how that happens. So a little peek behind the curtain, you know. No, we have a focus group. No, we don't. My focus group is my wife. She's not home. It's my dog. Very true. Very true. Mei Ling, actually, I'm getting far afield. Yeah, but that's the 3 Christmas paintings. This one and the one with the Christmas UFO encounters and what decoupaged in there. These will all three of these will be available on various holiday merch next week. And the 3 actual paintings, the 3, maybe you want this for a painting and you put it out during the Christmas season or whatnot, or you just want it all, whatever you want to do. I don't care. But yeah, we'll have these, we'll put them up on eBay or something. And that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, very cool. What else should we talk about since we're doing the Jamie only thing? Show's growing great. I'm finally getting the hang of, I'm getting better at our video editing and whatnot and doing all of this video stuff because frankly, when we started, I didn't know what I was doing at all, ladies and gentlemen. It isn't like, oh yeah, well, I edited videos and no, had never done it. So yeah, I was kind of learning as I went along and you know how it goes. Sometimes you just do stuff to learn it, and it's the best way. So yeah, so that's happening. What else is going on? Danny's super busy with her. For those who don't know, Danny, my lovely wife, has a crystal and that type of stuff web shop. And they do like little artesian markets and stuff like that here in South Florida. And my eye is itchy. Anyhow, I got one this weekend. So they usually take off for the summer on those because it gets way hot. But yeah, it's back at it. I'll leave links to her if you're into that kind of stuff, crystals. And my wife's a phenomenal sculptress and ceramicist. I don't know if that's a term, but she makes ceramics and stuff. And we have a spinning wheel right over there, electric spinning wheel. And she makes these plates and they're all, she explains it on her website and on her Instagram. I'll leave the links here down below for that. It's called The Spectral Moon. And her and Travis, that's her business partner. They've known each other forever. And she used to manage a cosmetics store and he worked in the salon. Of course, they became friends and whatnot and do this. So they both had a passion for crystals and that type of stuff and gear. Listen to them talk about crystals is, I'm sure, how sometimes people here feel about listening to me talk about art history. It's just, they know a lot. That's how you come away from that conversation. Anyhow, yeah, I'll leave a link down for that. But yeah, they're doing great and have all kinds of stuff happening and going on as always. And we're doing good. Everything's moving right along. The show's doing well. I wish, of course, I feel like any YouTuber now. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I need to grow a beard like every other YouTuber. If I grew a beard, I would fit in it, YouTube, and it's not happening. I got like sideburns. I got like cool, I just got some love sideburns / Wolverine. No, I don't have them. I can't handle that. I'd be pulling on them all the time. No, of course, I wish there was more views and this and that. But, we only started this thing like a month and a half ago. And Danny and I were talking about this the other night. I said, this may take a while to build up to where and there has been a dip in the audio side as well, because we moved platforms. And when we did that, everything is all linked together. And so when you move the base of that link to a different platform, you have to rebuild all those synapses, all those connections out to the podcast. It didn't take long because I knew how to do it. And so we're still on like 800 different podcast platforms. Somebody emailed me the other day, said, couldn't find you on Pandora. So we should be on there now. It took an hour or two to got to emailing right away. Actually, I think there was a phone call involved in that as well. But yeah, but we're on Spotify and all that, all the big stuff. But yeah, the video itself is it's not it's a pain because I got to put a tie on and what have you. But it's not a pain. It's not the end of the world. Hey, I ain't out here digging ditches or something. It's just doing this. And we have some cool guests. I'm pretty happy with the guests we've got. Have heard over on Patreon, a lot of people are saying, and those that don't know, we have a Patreon account and blah, 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 blah. All kinds of different things of that. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, they have been saying that they would like more bands and stuff. Well, there you go. Can we get close enough where you can read one of these? I don't know if it focus and it'll be backwards, so never mind. But yeah, so we're gonna not a plan. I know a lot of those people, and so we can start doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, sounds cool to me. I really enjoy having the different types of band. I know for a while there, and we're talking really this before we move the platforms on the audio side of the podcast. We had a lot of guests from the film world, independent film, and this and that. And we're going to continue that. But I hear what people are saying. They're like, you need to mix in more bands and music stuff with those. And that's fine. We will do that. I just talked to an old PR friend of mine. She used to work for somebody I used to know for her PR firm. And she's since went out on her own, has her own big shop now in New York City. And her specialty are books, literature. She reps a lot of, does PR campaigns and whatnot for a book, literature people. So I always enjoy those in cosplay that I'm on NPR or something. Well, no, it's usually different types of things and interests me and whatnot. I like everybody. I like doing the show. It always inspires me. The coolest thing about doing the show is a couple times a week, you get to hang out with people that are doing something, that are really putting on the line and trying to make something happen with various things. And that inspires me because that's my world as well. Not making movies or anything like that, but just making something happen. Sometimes, and especially being a painter, sometimes you feel a little lonely out here. You feel a little lonely just because you don't. And it's funny because people always like, why don't you hang out with more painters and stuff? On a local level, I have found wherever you are, whatever city, and I've been in a ton of them. Like anything, there's different levels of things. A lot of times people are trying to make sales. There's that desperate to make sales. And the world we live in. And I blame these competition shows more than anything, is everybody wants to be famous. They want to be famous, man. They want to go to the cool club or the big parties and have fun. I shouldn't say that. My age is showing. It's what I did that scene for a long time. I was hanging out in nightclubs for 20 years and decades. When I say that, I wrote about this on the blog not long back, is one of the reasons I used to go to so many clubs and whatnot is because that, especially in Southern California, that was where the people that were buying my paintings were hanging out. And you got to go where the market is. And yeah, of course, I'm into electronic music. I'm from Detroit, home of techno. Of course, I'm into electronic music and all that. And had a bunch of DJs, still have a bunch of DJ friends and in that world. The thing is, I tell people now, it's kind of a little joke I have, which is kind of half true. All good jokes is I don't like going out to clubs and stuff because it's expensive. And people are like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, well, you got to get a VIP table when you go out, bottle service or something. I'm like, oh, because you're a big shot. No, that isn't the issue. Being a big shot ain't the thing. The issue is I'm old and I want a place to sit. I don't want to. And anybody will tell you that knows nightclubs is you pay for that seat. You always do. I don't want to be standing around, man. Listen, The reality is too, I'm happily married. I love my wife. I love my life with her. I hanging out in nightclubs and whatnot is a good way to lose a girl if you got something good going on. Is all I'm saying. All I'm saying. And I'm not saying couldn't handle the temptations or whatnot out there. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just things tend to happen. And would I screw up a good thing? I wouldn't. Another reason I don't get snookered out of my mind on a pouring poison in down my gullet. Why would I do that? I like where I'm at. But that's the reality. And my wife still goes out. She's got her whole little gaggle of girls. They all go and do their thing and then come tell me about it. It's standing around some club that's hot, sucking my gut and my cheeks in, trying to look cool. I don't give a shit about looking cool. Look at me. How do I give a shit about looking cool about or being cool or any of that shit or famous? It holds no interest for me. I'm not going to exert a whole lot of time or energy towards those types of pursuits. Not putting anybody down who does. Not putting anybody down who does. If that's your end game, good luck with it. Hope it works out for you. What can I tell you? I'll be painting my paintings and talking to people on my shelf, hanging out with my dog, and yeah, living life. Pretty happy with things. Drinking lots of coffee. Anyhow, that's going to wrap things up, folks. We've been doing this almost an hour. That's what, shy 50 minutes. And once I cut that's the cool thing about this too, is once I cut out the jumps and whatnot, edit those in and smooth things out a little bit, time will even go down further. So I think we're looking at 45-minute show. That's pretty good for a Jamie only show. And try to do one of those once every quarter if I can. And anything else? I'm just trying to rack my brain real quick before I sign off of anything that I should be telling everyone about. That's it. Keep working hard, folks. Keep working hard. Be positive. Get it done. Make it happen. That's my advice to everybody. And we will see you next time. Got a really cool show. We got to record a returning guest, Ella, on Monday. So that's cool. Looking forward to that. Got all kinds of stuff happening. And I'm out of here, folks. I'm out of here. Have a great one. Be cool. Remember, we'll be posting them too when the holiday paintings go live on the merch. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.